overall collective of neighborhood actors that dictates the direction that a neighborhood takes over the long run. So I got several other findings, as you know, Paul, but I'll leave it at that for now. Maybe some of the other findings will come up as we proceed.
It was a fascinating study, and I can't wait to see the book that comes out that furthers the research and some of the materials that you're developing with it. A lot of quantitative research, and I think there were qualitative aspects. And for the viewers, Dave is an engineer by background, a committed Christian, as are Phil and Ross, and people that are very committed to the local church and have a passion for the city and the broader community. So these are matters that come out of his heart and his life and musings in terms of how to be missional. And as Dave said, you know, a lot of times we're well-intentioned, and it's not to bash, but it is to build up, and it's also to make us more aware and more engaged in building a community that really accounts for diversity and ethnic diversity and seeks to really build bridges, not build walls. And with that, I want to draw attention to work and reflections from my colleague Phil Berlin, a longstanding friend as well, who's been a pastoral leader in Portland and grew up in Portland and has served in African American and multi-ethnic congregations and is a pastor in the Portland area and is a leader at New Wine, New Wineskins, an advisor to me, and tries to hold me accountable in different ways, and is doing a good job, doing a better job than Ross and Dave are, I might add, but that's for another day. But Phil, thanks for joining us in this conversation for New Wine Tastings.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Paul.
And so Phil, as I said, you were raised in Portland, part of the African American Church, and as a pastoral leader for a significant time. And you have a passion to tell the rich and resilient stories, and we've talked about this in other contexts, of the African American churches in Portland, in Northeast Portland, North Portland, I should say, and the challenges that the African American Christian community is currently facing, in part as a result of gentrification, and how they are responding. So Phil, please share with us about this vision that God's put on your heart.
Absolutely. Well, as you said, I was brought up in Portland, and my original pastor is someone that moved from the South to wanted to plant a church, a Black church in the middle of a very white community. He came here in the 80s. And he did that. It's a little church called Grace and Truth Pentecostal Church over in Southeast 22nd Avenue. Church is still there now. And as I got older and got a call from ministry, I just wanted to kind of live into his legacy and just the story of how he came to Portland and just the other leaders that are coming that have been here and have done just tremendous work. Many of you guys are familiar with one of our fellow seminary graduates from Multnomah. Our father used to pastor a church that's not too far from where I live now. It used to be called Morningstar. It was called Morningstar Baptist Church. It was just off of MLK Avenue. Several years ago, that church burnt down. And I remember just driving past in the neighborhood just the other day, and I saw the Morningstar apartment complex. And I was thinking, wow, there used to be a church that used to be right here. And I just don't want many of the churches, the African-American churches that have been here with very effective, passionate, powerful leaders, just wonderful music and just wonderful work that they've done in the communities, those stories to pass away. Now, Morningstar is one example, but there are several other actual churches in the area that the buildings aren't churches anymore. There's just other things that are going on there. And then in addition to, as Dave brought up earlier, there are churches where there's new church plants that have moved into those buildings, and then that existing church's story has essentially been lost because we don't really know where those leaders have been and the like. So that's the thing, that's the passion behind me, is that is that I would love for those stories to be told, for just the legacy of that theology that's coming through that has come through the African American church to just continue to be told and continue to have the same passion. And for the new people that are coming to the neighborhood to still know that there's been a presence here, that there's been a presence in the neighborhood, and that church has been a significant piece of it, and not just another piece of property.
Yeah, I'm so excited about what Dave has shared and what you have shared here, Phil, and we'll